Justice! Thy name is no longer poorly rendered faces. Huh.
Yeah, the faces are the thing in this game that got the biggest upgrade, actually.
Well, considering everyone looked really weird last game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they did a good job with the character models in Injustice 2.
Yeah, the game looks fantastic on your big TVs and all that. So
Yeah. Good job all around, actually. I mean, they even managed to give this game a slightly less stupid storyline.
no, it's
Still
really
it's
stupid.
still pretty far down there, but you know, it's less played out. It plays around with stuff that was available to be played around with. And you know, I always appreciate a good Supergirl origin story that puts her out of her element, so there you go.
Too bad Supergirl's the only interesting character in this entire story.
Well,
Yeah.
what about Batman?
Yeah.
This is one of the worst cases of Bat God, probably outside the comics ever.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, everything interesting that they could have done with Batman in this particular story scenario, they did in the first game. So there wasn't really much left for him. Superman gets a little bit more, you know, humanizing in this one, but...
No, not really. I would have to disagree there, but we'll get to him.
If only that Brainiac robot remembered that he had hand tentacles just to grab her ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Well, you know, a bunch of remote control mooks, thousands of them being controlled all at once. Some of them fell a little bit low on the processing priority list.
Well,
Oh, they're just like the Geth.
One of them just had a Windows 10 update. So
I like how like Supergirl is just wearing normal clothes here, but like in the New 52 comic, they tried to pass off her actual Supergirl costume as some sort of Kryptonian day wear. Or
Oh,
something.
they did that. That's as old as. Well, actually, I don't know if it's before or after Man of Steel, but it's like no, it stands for hope. No, on our planet.
No,
that's
no,
an
no,
S.
no. The
No, that's always been the case. I think
the
with
S
New
shield
52,
has
she
always
was
been the family emblem, but like the costume was her day wear in the New 52 origin story, and it was dumb because that version of the costume is probably the most out there out of all of her costumes.
okay, so he digitized the city for data collecting.
Yeah.
data and
Did
preservation.
he just leave, or was he?
No,
yanked
this
out of
is the
sky?
origin story for Superman 64. Virtual Metropolis, anybody?
The whole taking over cities, digitizing them, and sticking them in his ship is a thing that Brainiac does do in the comics, and
He's been doing it for years.
Yeah, and it not only came up in the New 52 several times, but it was also part of the whole rebirth thing, which was dumb, but well, they got some decent stories out of it while it was running. But
So I mean, what were you guys thinking about like when this game was announced and teased? You know, because this game was very under the radar for me. I enjoyed the first Injustice game, well, gameplay wise anyway. The story I was pretty hit and miss with.
yeah.
But when this game came out, it was like one of those. Right, it did.
Yeah, more or less.
I was totally disinterested in Injustice 2 until we tried it out on the PS4 at MomoCon, and I really got into playing as Black Canary, and then realized that I really wanted this game. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to buy it yet, but I did get to watch the story thanks to the video files Ryan sent me for this commentary, and it's a good story mode, but it's not a very good story. Which was more or less the same deal
I wouldn't
with
even say
Injustice
it's a
1,
good
really.
story mode. It's more or less what NetherRealm has been doing since the Mortal Kombat soft
Yeah,
redo.
To be
which
fair,
is
though,
good
that's-
story modes.
That's way better because I played through Tekken 7's story mode not too long ago, and God, that's awful. Like, not even in terms of the story being bad, because let's be honest, most fighting games have bad stories. That's just kind of how it is. But in terms of presentation and whatnot, like, I would have killed to have an Injustice Mortal Kombat style story mode in that game instead of having some
Ted actively
meaningless-
wants something related to DC. Shocker.
Dude,
Yeah,
Tekken 7
that's-
story mode's so bad. It's just like 3 hours of a reporter blandly talking at you. You fight as like Heihachi, Kazuya, like Lars once, maybe, and then Nothing. It's so bad. It's awful. You should watch my
Yeah,
playthrough of it on my channel.
when I say good story mode, what I mean is that the actual presentation of the story, combined with the gameplay, makes for a fairly satisfying sit-down experience. I don't mean a good story. A good story is what BlazBlue does, but BlazBlue has a horrible story mode. It's a fucking visual novel that goes on for half an hour, and then you fight for 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute if you're good, and then it's another half an hour of reading. And the story is great, yeah, but I could have gotten the same experience from a novel.
Or the anime version, or something like that.
No, the anime version is probably hot garbage, going by how those things usually turn out.
So this game takes place entirely in the Injustice universe.
Yeah, and that unfortunately means we have very few good versions of the characters to balance out the really crappy ones.
That's not strictly true, to be honest. I mean, let's see. The good guys have a pretty decently sized team, actually. I was surprised.
I mean, like, actual good versions, because even the good guys are kind of assholes.
Oh,
Well, that's
Green Arrow is
that's
just Green
just-
Arrow, and Black Canary is as Black Canary as I've ever seen her.
You have to just get used to it. That's what Marvel has. Everybody's an asshole. You learn to love them.
Well,
Batman, that helmet, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
yeah, the costumes in the future versions are all pretty terrible, but for the most part, I was happy with the ones that appeared in this past version. The only weird one is Batman himself.
Wait, so does this take place after Superman killed the Joker?
This opening sequence is right after Superman kills Joker.
But before
Yeah.
the events of Injustice 1. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is basically just, your opening gameplay stuff. It'll jump back to post Injustice 1 soon enough.
Yeah. Oh, we get to see Cyborg actually using his boom tube technology, which they kind of forgot about in the first game.
So why did evil Superman just start trying to kill Batman immediately? Is it because Batman's technically
no.
criminal?
Well,
He's-
he didn't. He didn't.
He's
No,
not.
Batman is trying to stop Superman because,
Oh, okay.
killing is wrong.
Okay, here's the outline of what's happening, okay? Superman has basically gone insane, and he's going to a prison and lining up all the inmates and executing them, and Batman is rushing to stop him.
Oh, okay.
This is like the very, very start of Superman going cray-cray. I assume,
And
like...
Cyborg has joined him because apparently a few of the Teen Titans were caught in the nuclear metropolis blast, which apparently is excuse as to why certain characters won't be in, even though they brought Joker back as a gameplay character. So
Yeah. It's also actually I kind of would have appreciated that reason if it was in the first game.
yeah.
The fact that why would Victor Stone join the regime? It's like, oh, it's because he lost Starfire and Beast Boy in Metropolis.
So was
Yeah.
it just me, or did the gameplay, did the cutscenes run at 30 and this runs at 60?
Yeah.
okay.
Let me just say this, okay? If you make a fighting game run at less than 60, people are going to bitch at you.
Oh, no,
until you,
I'm not
like-
against it. It's just, and
Yeah.
it's not really a problem. It's just one of those things where it's just like, whoa, you can tell
no,
when you're about to
it's-
fight because the frame rate jumps.
It's the thing about it is a fighting game really, really, really needs to play at least 60. You go any lower than that, and people's response times are going to suffer something fierce.
But that's us also assuming the mechanics are able to utilize all 60 frames per second. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the
Injustice-
combo
Injustice-
system in Injustice, you put in your button combination at the very start. You just push the correct button combination, and you've committed to it. You don't have to hit each button at the correct frame in mid-combo to keep it going. It doesn't work like that in this
Yeah.
game. But frame
yeah,
rates are
it
still
generally
pretty
it
important.
tries to buffer your inputs at least a little bit to
Yeah.
at least that's probably a good way to try to combat any sort of online lag, as long as the online lag isn't too bad.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I
but-
feel like a lot of people would complain about the gameplay in local being dumbed down or whatever just to make up for online. I don't know how. But then again,
It's-
this is
No, it's not
content.
really a problem as far as local goes.
It's not really dumbing down, although it does make it easier for people who don't play fighting games to get into the whole combo thing. But it tends to make the actual process of inputting a combo feel like inputting a cheat code. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Here we go. Even I really hate how they do Superman in this story mode, but Diana has it even worse. I think this is probably one of the worst depictions of Diana / Wonder Woman probably ever.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Bold claims.
they tried to play around with an idea that they had going in the first game, where Diana sort of fed into Superman's fears and stuff, but they
And kind of
sort
became
of,
his rebound girl.
the way they did it really makes it feel like that's her entire character.
And she goes straight, and, well, two other things that she goes straight from 0 to kill in no time, even when they're on the same team, and she puts no thought into anything she does.
Well,
in this
here's
game.
the thing, and it's a real missed opportunity in Wonder Woman's case, because depending on the version of Wonder Woman you're talking about, and most prominently, I would say the New 52 version has this characteristic. But it's like, unlike Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman isn't really averse to killing, because, well, the whole Greek
She's
warrior
an Amazonian warrior.
Yeah, I'm more talking about what we'll see later. But
So
That's not
the-
necessarily a bad thing either.
Well,
Like sometimes
yeah,
you just
but-
have to straight up kill the bad guy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that characteristic would make Wonder Woman prone to, joining this particular, to falling into the regime's mindset if things got bad enough. But they never actually show that as part of her motivation, which bothers the crap out of me.
where are the other drugs?
Wait, would the lasso of truth work on Wonder Woman?
No, well, hold
it
on.
works on it works on anyone who's bound by it. It doesn't matter who it is. It works.
Well, hold on a moment. The lasso of truth makes it so that you can't lie, but couldn't she just not talk?
It
No.
compels you to speak when someone you're asked a question.
You're compelled to talk. That's pretty much always been the truth. Well, yeah. Anyway, we start off with a few tutorial battles, rounding it out with the Superman versus Batman battle. One thing I do like about the story mode that we'll be seeing later on, though, is that different chapters, rather than locking you into one character, actually give you the choice of two.
Yeah,
Which,
it doesn't affect anything though. But hey, it's nice to have
just
an option.
some slight scene variation before and after the fight, but that's about it. It's nice to have the player choice. And another thing that I like is that they got rid of those god-fucking awful mini-games before fights.
Yeah, those are completely gone.
Now, I
Oh,
do...
but come on, they were the best part.
I do
Clark was
appreciate...
blowing up cars and vehicles.
I do appreciate that while Batman's costume is just as dumb as ever, Superman is back in something closer to his New 52 design, instead of that really goddamn edgy-looking costume he had at the beginning of Injustice 1.
These inmates are irredeemable.
Nope,
It's...
doesn't have the red underwear.
Yeah.
No,
Not
it
true
doesn't have the
Superman.
big old Saiyan-style shoulder armor that the one in the last game had. And one thing that they also did, speaking of the faces, is that they made Superman... They made Superman's facial features look like something you could expect from the superhero who's supposed to be an all-around Boy Scout, which kind of makes it feel a bit uncomfortable to see him, talking like this half the time.
Unfortunately, so. I think they're trying to do a little bit of the rebirth Superman costume. Once he stopped being like almost completely blue, they gave him some color back after overly complicated but old Superman takes over as quote unquote
Yeah.
Superman for the world. So he kind of took back some color.
Yeah. I remember that storyline, but it's basically the same as the new 52 outfit.
Which I think looked pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it looks fine. I like that costume more than the classic one. I didn't
Yeah.
like the new 52 Superman all that much. He was funny at times, but well,
I have to say, I'm sorry. It's like I love the fact that he triggers a red solar grenade and he's still able to fly and do all this shit.
It's supposed to just be this is why
It's
Batman
an
can
excuse
fight
as-
Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, I understand. Even though I thought that's what the pills are for.
Yeah, it's basically-
No, they haven't taken the pills yet.
yeah, it's basically it dulls his powers, but he's not
Well,
gonna
the pill.
punch.
Honestly,
Batman
the pills
through the
feel
wall.
more pills feel more bullshit than this. Like this is actually like a a lore reason that makes sense, kinda. Whereas it's like, oh, magic pills, yay.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all comic book shit.
Yeah. The red solar energy has been one of Superman's weaknesses since ages and ages ago. But speaking of Superman's powers, they actually bring up several of Superman's weaknesses.
Yeah,
in this
they bring
game.
up like basically all of them. Kryptonite,
Yeah,
especially
kryptonite,
gold,
red solar
especially gold.
energy,
and magic.
different types of kryptonite, magic. Yeah, like Kryptonians don't like magic.
I thought it was just that it doesn't affect them any differently than it would a normal person.
Yeah.
Basically.
Not that they're
Yeah.
like any more vulnerable to it than anything else. It's just in comparison, it makes it so that they're super...
in a Power Girl issue, for example, there were these dinosaurs rampaging around Metropolis. There was no initial explanation for that. That's just how the issue started because Power Girl was funny like that. And they're fighting the dinosaurs and they get bitten by them and they bleed and they're like, oh, it must be magic. So it spins off into a Zatanna story.
Oh, well, that makes sense.